Hey, how are you?
So excited to be chatting with you today. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure. How is everybody?
Oh my God, everyone's excited to see you and ready for all the secrets on Taza.
Well, we won't reveal all of them, but we'll get everybody going.
Well, it's my job to try.
You
So
you look great.
thank you.
Yeah, you look fantastic.
Thank you. Ditto, ditto. You look so cool with your glasses. Those are really handy to like keep the secrets because I'm gonna try to trick you. Okay, so last week we had Jacob Vargas on the chat, a true postmortem, and we teased a little bit that we might be seeing a little bit more of him in this episode, and so you guys shared a scene. Talk a little bit about having Jacob on representing Montez's dead body in that barrel with all the salt.
It's one of those really great things, and that's why it's fun making movies because, I could describe how it was actually shot. I think that's cool to talk about that, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's just so funny because literally, it's a barrel, and they've got enough of a hole for his head to pop through. So he's got to sit there with his head surrounded by sand, and then they've got to close it up so it doesn't leak, so that when I pour the rest of the sand, it stays there. And of course, no one can hold their breath that long. Poor guy tried within like 10 seconds, so he's already gasping. But uh,
But
but you
let's
know,
be clear. Let's be clear. He told us that that's really him. That's not a doll. That's
uh,
actually Jacob Vargas in the
yep.
barrel having salt poured on him.
That is the beauty of sometimes being an actor, is that you end up doing stuff like you're like, really? This is not even acting. We could have had a head, but he was there. He was a real trooper to do it, and he inhaled a lot of salt for us.
Well, did it give you any kind of ideas for like maybe Taza? He's got all of these things that he's doing, trying to hide some kind of big secret. Are you plotting out how he would die?
No, the thing about having him there was just, a real, really him was just great because it really brings out the realism of what it's like to possibly do something like that. I mean, because none of us have a clue what it's like to, get rid of and dispose of a body in salt. But just to have him there and be a real body, and the fact that he's going to actually suffocate, it actually just creates a little bit of angst and anxiety in yourself for him. But
Mm-hmm.
it serves the scene, I think, too. So that's good.
Okay, so it cannot be a coincidence that Palo kills Montez and that it's Taza who finds the body and has to dispose of it. So what is the connection here?
Well, I think it's fair to say that he needed to send a message directly to me. So not only is it the second son now that we have to be accountable for, because you remember the first one that was killed in when we got rid of
Yep.
most of the Vato Malditos. Well,
Mm-hmm.
now we have a second one, and he gets delivered personally to my bike. So he's sending a real clear message to Taza that I'm on you and I'm really close. And this is how close I got. You guys are inside, you're there on the porch, boom, I got this close to you. So it's a huge threat at this point, knowing that he can get that close to us. So it amps up Taza's need to like really get to him quickly.
A resolver
Arre.
immediately.
Exactly, para chingarlo bien.
Love it. But it's also like it keeps me wondering, like, what is this huge thing? I mean, whatever this huge secret is, I mean, he killed Riz. That was like his buddy, his brother. What can you kind of tease about what's ahead that we discover from this? Are you worried that this could cost Taza his life?
Yeah, I think that's the idea. The idea is that this secret, which we'll get to know about by episode 8, we now will understand why he did it, and then it's going to be up to the fans whether or not they will be forgiving and understanding of why he did it. One way or the other. I mean, I don't think in any normal human being there would be any kind of understanding of justifying killing anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, as you saw, we offed Vicky, another. It's like I seem to be getting rid of that family all in one fell swoop. But there's never any justification to it ultimately, and I think the biggest message is that it wears on us all. I mean, we saw at the end of that episode when he comes to Bishop and basically says it's done. It doesn't get any easier, and you can see now that it's starting to wear on him. And it's fair to say the toll of death and he takes responsibility for all of it in the end. But right now it's all wearing on his conscience for sure.
Well, in a previous episode, I can't remember who said it, but when they were talking about the dead reaper in the desert, and then there's the body of Montez, but somebody said, like, you know, what, are you looking for a war? So the fact that Taza like had Montez's body and is the one disposing of it, could that be a catalyst for some kind of war?
Well, yeah, I mean, it is. It's like if the Sons find out, you know, now that we're responsible. I mean, I think we got away with the first one, and we kind of said, hey, we don't know. But I mean, this one was delivered. So if it got out that he was actually found there would definitely be an all-out war. So I think that was his reasoning to dispose immediately of the body. So there is no evidence whatsoever. But the evidence ultimately takes a toll on Taza, I think, because the secret that will be revealed in the next 3 episodes from now will basically let you know why he did it all. And again, are we going to forgive him for it and be understanding of why he did it? And that's going to be the big one for the fans, I think. I'm already getting hate mail. I have to keep reminding people, dude, I'm not Taza.
I'm just an actor, you guys, but that's how good you are.
Especially when I post something that isn't even Mayans related. And I'm like, I'm still mad at you for killing Riz, or I hate you. And I'm like, whoa, harsh.
But that's when you know that you're doing a good job. Like, I hate Lincoln Potter with every fiber of my being. I cannot wait for him to die. But like, he's just kind of been talked about a little bit this season. He hasn't been there. I'm like, oh, I really miss seeing Potter. I want to hate him.
I know. He's just one of those great guys that you want to hate. And then when you actually meet him, he's just the sweetest guy.
Okay. So after Taza handles Montez's body, the next time we see him, this is a very big episode for you, he visits Palo's sister. What is his end game there?
What is the what?
What is his end game?
To get to Palo. And it's, you know, and it got revealed. It got revealed at the end of 5 that he felt badly for the way that he did it and the way that he used her, because he blindsided her.
Mm-hmm.
and just thought, oh, okay, because again, I think operating from that level, we need to get what we need to get, and we'll do whatever we do. But I think a heart chord was struck seeing her 25 years later, now seeing that she's, you know, a woman and she's grown up to be something. She's got a kid. I mean, she's really become somebody. And I think after the first meeting, he realizes, okay, that was not cool. That was not a way to do it. I could have been probably really honest. And but ultimately, his end game is I need to find Paulo and find him quickly, because now that I know that a body got this close to us, what else could happen? So I need to find his ass real fast.
Now, for you, like, his feelings may have been evident because you know the rest of the season, but for us, the entire time I'm like, oh my God, she's gonna put her key in the car and it's gonna explode. The whole time I said, that's gonna explode.
Wow, that's amazing. I guess that's the beauty of the way that the show is written this year too. There's a lot of anxiety, I think, in the viewer's head going on all the time, right? I mean, what were your thoughts when you saw this body of Montez, who, you know, is a character that I think people have loved from Sons,
of course,
and at least in this season, because I mean, he's such a good guy too. But what were your thoughts when you saw him on the bike, dead?
I
What was
mean,
your
for
first
me, it was
thoughts?
heartbreaking. As you can see, I got my little Sons of Anarchy Funko toy
Yeah.
here, my Mayans MC book back here. I'm a big fan of this universe. So for me, seeing Montez, to be completely clear, I thought he was the dead body in the season 2 finale. I remember
Right.
I bumped into him shortly after that. I go, "Tell me that's not Montez. Tell me that's not Montez." Which he wouldn't say either way, but obviously. But so for me, it was very shocking. I hate when I have, like, we have so many, so few of our Sam Crow, like, originals that are left. It was very sad for me to see him go, but it seems that it could be a catalyst for something much bigger.
Yeah, but what were your thoughts, not just in seeing him dead, but what runs through your head of, like, why was he brought there? I'm just curious as a fan. Yeah.
Fano is trying to set up Taza, obviously.
Okay, cool. That came across then.
Yeah, that's like a cat or mouse. They're like, you know, but I mean, hopefully the Montez that he was double dipping thing comes out too. So, but he's like the puppet master.
Yeah, for sure.
Philo, he may have lost his brothers, but he's really strong on his own.
He's so great too, isn't he? I mean, he plays
so
that
good.
role so well. Yeah, we've known about each other for decades, and finally to have the opportunity to work together, and by the end of this season, you know, it's just, we've had so many rich scenes together. But yeah, he's doing such a good job in this role. I mean, he's so cold and calculated and just heartless, you know, but he's, again, a testament to a really good performance.
It makes for great television. I see somebody else saying there that they think
Taza needs to show Paulo them hands.
show them hands.
Yeah.
Somebody else a little bit ago said that they think that Paulo may have seen Taza talking to his sister. What do you think about that?
There's a good possibility, because, you know, if this guy is this close to us and he's following me around, and you know, maybe he does know where his sister lived. I mean, you know, according to her, she said she hasn't seen any of her family in 20 years and all that, and we have to believe her, but you just never know. He could be looming in the background somewhere, just watching, waiting to swoop in.
He's like a reaper. He's worse.
Oh yeah, he's worse than a stalker.
Big time.
He kills you when he gets close enough.
Can you say whether one of you two dies this season? That's such a spoiler.
Wait, say it again? One of my what?
Whether Taza or Paulo can die this season. I'm so scared for everybody.
I think I would be fired if I told you that. I'm just going to say you got to wait to find out, and you won't find out until episode 10.
Oh, you're going to say until next season.
It's basically to the very bitter end. You're going to find out what goes down here.
Oh my God, that's such a beautiful fabric that you have behind you. What is that?
Oh, I'm at my niece's house, down at my house, because I live on a ranch way up in the mountains, and I've got really shitty Wi-Fi. So she's the one that convinced me. She says, you know, we need to go to my house. She just actually moved back here. She's one of the closest allies in my whole family. I mean, I helped raise her. And yeah, this is house. She fixed it up. It's an old house. It's been here since the 80s, and she fixed it up. And this is her fabric, but I thought it was a good backdrop. So
yeah, it's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, it's a great place. Yeah, it's so good to be back in New Mexico. This is, never leave us, Taza. I will do my best not to. Hey, the Empire, brother, look at him. I got some good people tuning in here. That's awesome. Man, I love you guys. I just want to say I appreciate all of you guys tuning into this show. I mean, this season is so special to us all, having Elgin and Deborah at the helm and leading us down these incredible scripts. And I mean, visually, it's such a beautiful season to watch, isn't it? I mean, just cinematically.
I have to say that Elgin has helped bring out, like, I feel like all of you have, not that you guys were not amazing before, but like he elevated you to a place where you guys are just spectacular. And visually, I don't want to say too much, but I just watched 306. I saw 306, and I said this is one of the most beautifully shot episodes. It was like a movie.
Yeah. I've always coined it this season. It's poetic. It's poetic violence. You know, I mean, it's just so beautiful to look at. Even in the most grisly of scenes, it just looks incredible. And it's like I say, we're all so proud of this season, because this is the show that we've wanted to do now, and it's taken us 3 seasons to get there, and we're all incredibly proud. And we have such an amazing crew that works their asses off. I mean, we as actors, please. I mean, you know, we work some, but we don't even work anywhere near as close as much as the crew does. They're the best crew ever. Seriously, they're just so good.
I think it's more like a dance, because you guys, you can't say that about the acting, because the acting, like, I mean, I have been watching so many of you guys for so long, and this was just like next level.
Again, though, but that's all in the writing. If the writing
Right.
wasn't what it was this year, you wouldn't have seen this kind of performances, because we're not just delivering information and sort of dealing with a formula that I think the first 2 seasons, you know, is as much as I've loved this show from the beginning, but it was still formulaic in the beginning, because we were trying to feel our footing in this world that was still very governed by, you know, what the greatness of Sons of Anarchy. But I think it took this 3rd season to really get us to a place, and that's all to the writers and to Elgin and Deborah's, you know, steering the ship. But Elgin is just such an amazing writer, director, and I've worked with some amazing directors, and he's right up there with one of the greats. I mean, his way of working with actors, getting performances from them exactly the way that he wants them, because he's got the vision, and he's just someone you just trust completely to tell you how to get there. But he gives you the safety net to be able to play. Like some of these scenes, like that scene that you saw with Laura and I mean, God, he allowed us so much time to shoot that thing, but giving him so many different flavors and nuances that he could ultimately just pick and choose all the stuff he needs. So I can't say enough about the show. I'm so happy being part of this show. It's such a great show to be part of.
Every one of these chats that I have, everybody wants to know where Chucky is.
Chucky is in Ohio, where he left with his family, which is for real.
Everyone has a different funny answer about where Chucky is.
You know, it's in this business. It's a funny thing. You know, it takes, you know, he's gone on with his life, because I mean, he's such an amazing artist as well as an actor. And I think right now the move to Ohio is a big deal for him. And, you know, that just takes him out of the loop, because he's not in LA and can't be part of the family. Whereas in Sons, he lived in LA. So he's just a little further away, but we all miss him so much.
I'm sure he'll maybe pop in again someday. Hopefully.
Yeah, I know. We do too. We love that guy. He's so awesome.
So in 305, this tiny little thing happened. Like, you blinked and you missed it. But this guy, his name is EZ, he gets shot. This tiny little thing, you know?
Did EZ get shot? That little thing?
That little thing. Can we talk a little bit about that and how it changes the game?
I think we could. I mean, I guess I could talk about just the fact that I think we needed something like that at the crossroads where he's at right now. I mean, he was just on the verge of losing Gabby, who was ready to walk out of his life. And I just think this brings the violence that exists in his world to the immediate forefront for her. But at the same time, I mean, she was ready to pack up and leave, and now all of a sudden he's shot. So we're going to see now how she actually deals with that. But again, I think that was the brilliance of the writing, again, is letting everybody know that, you know, any of us could go anytime, you know, and whether or not we survive it or not is a different story, you know?
Well, that's a perfect setup for me to announce that next week we're going to have Girl Talk for the first time from this season of Mayans MC. We're going to have Zulem Calderon joining me to speak about Gabby. We can dish about what it's really like to kiss JD Pardo. You know, all the important things about the show.
Yeah. I see an interesting here. Will Taza have a love interest this season? I think this season, you're going to find out more about Taza and love, but that's as much as I'll say.
Oh my God, wait, does the secret have to do with love?
Doesn't it all have to do with love?
It does.
I mean, yeah, look at Bishop's character. You know, you now have uncovered the fact that he, you know, had a wife and a kid that he lost. So I think this season, again, because of the digging that we're going into all of our characters, we're now really allowed into our hearts somewhat to find out either what has happened in the past and what is currently going on right now. But I think this is a glimpse into our hearts. I think the other seasons have always been about what's up with us in our our male bravura and our balls and our kick-ass world. But this year, I think we're going to be able to touch on all of our hearts. I mean, look at Galinda, what's going on there. I mean, there's a lot of heart action going on here. Coco, in there. There's a lot of good stuff. Who could resist Taza?
I was gonna say,
Thompson girl, you're the best. love you, Thompson girl.
I was gonna repeat that too. So wait. So don't stray me too far from there. Because I kind of felt like maybe there was something between Taza and Paulo's sister. Is that where we're going?
Well, you have to remember, I haven't seen her in 20-some years, so she was a little girl.
I'm bad at math. I'm a good writer, not good at math.
But you're definitely going to find out what is behind Taza. You're going to find out more of his past. You're going to find the reason for all of it. So I can just thought one of the questions is he going to fess up about killing Riz? You're going to find out everything by the last episode of the season. You're going to find out everything, and then it's up to you whether you're going to forgive him and still love him or not.
But then, so what happens always with the Mayans episodes, though, it answers a lot of the questions, but then it brings you a whole batch of new ones, leaving you thinking. Pretty
much. I think that's the beauty of it is, that's the complexity of life. It's never that easy. And again, it's from one perspective, it's one thing. And then from somebody else's perspective, it's a whole different thing. I mean, if you ask Paulo these same questions, he'd have a whole different set of reasons of why things are being done. So, thank you, sense of anarchy, happy chick. You're awesome. I love all the fans. You guys are so amazing. The way you guys support the show, you guys are just the best. And we're having such a good time doing all this for you guys. So just don't hate me by the end of the season, okay? That's all I ask.
Well, they can hate Taza, no? They can hate Raoul.
I hope they can separate the two, but I can hope. I want to hope that in the end they can always feel a little something for Taza, because up until now, Taza has been sort of the grounding force of the club. He's always the most calm, most grounded, and now we're actually seeing him be probably ungrounded for the first time in 3 seasons, and rightfully so. I mean, he killed one of his brothers, probably the closest brother, and which is really amazing because Antonio and I had such a close relationship as human beings, as well. And in the show, we always tried to play that there was a real brotherhood there, and we're the 2 long hairs, so we use the big jokes that we've all had to endure from everybody else about the hair. That was hilarious.
Well, I don't want to stray too far from Bishop. Everybody has like their own personal things that are going on, and it's affecting what they're doing within the club. And Bishop is one of those people. Obviously, Taza is one of those people. Can you talk a little bit about how that's going to affect the club as we continue the second half of the season?
Okay, you have to just go back to the first part of the question. I missed it because I was actually reading some of the stuff here. Oh! What I know, some of them are really good. You're asking me what specifically about Bishop? How? Well,
we're talking about how each individual member of the MC is going through their own thing. Bishop, Coco, but with Bishop being in the president position, he makes the decisions for the club, and they're not always the right decisions. So, can you talk a little bit about how the decisions he's making are going to play out in the second half of the season?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that this, the first half of the show, from the beginning of the season, you saw how Bishop disregarded my advice a lot. And he all of a sudden favored taking advice from EZ. And that didn't go well with anybody. And especially Taza. Taza, I think, and Hank looked on a lot like, wait, what's going on here? This is just a kid. He just got patched, and now we're just being discarded. So there was a lot of that going on. But as we're now in the middle of the season, and, you saw we had a successful venture last night, finally. I mean, it was something that was, it failed the first time, the second time it actually succeeded. I think it's fair to say that success showed that we were all still united and together against the odds that we're going to be facing huge backlash from everybody, from Alvarez for the choice that Bishop made, from the other charters for what we've just done. So I think it's fair to say that the success of this last venture united us fully again as brothers, and in a sense now we're going to be able to deal now with the emotional that comes up because of a united front. But the will hit the fan by episode 10 big time.
We have to talk about Bridge Over River Kwai.
Yeah, wasn't it amazing?
That was so cool.
Yeah, that was so cool. I mean, that's like I say, it was something that, again, Bishop wanted to do it, and Taza's like, dude, no, it's a suicide mission. We're never going to have time. And then on the day, we got the kid who's saying, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. And it gets done. So again, all of those efforts of all of us working together really united us in something successful. So it's not like one person can take the full credit for it all. It's the fact that we all did it together. Mm-hmm. But again, it united us. I think it did. That's what it did. Every time I see you, I see the dude from Apocalypto. Not really. He never wore shades. So anyway, what else?
I'm trying to let you answer some of their questions. I mean, I'm here for them too.
Was EZ shot by a Mayan? I'm not going to tell you because you didn't pay attention. You would have seen who it was wearing that vest last night if you'd look closely.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing with Mayans. There's a lot, like, things are said, or you see little things. Like, there's a book that Mrs. Galindo had, like, in her drawer, and I remember that this season when I saw it reappeared in Miguel's hand, I googled it, and it's about like the author lost her parent and how then she goes off and trains like these hawks, and I'm like, it was right there.
Yeah. That's the one thing about all these actors, whether it's or JD or Danny. I mean, they make sure that whatever props they have, I think a lot of us do that too, is we want to make sure that it fits in with our character. I mean, everything we do, the look. I mean, we work really close with wardrobe to make sure. I mean, I have some of the amazing jewelers from the Navajo Res, native designers who help make all of Taza's cool stuff, and so the book and things like that are just little things that we throw in there as actors to be able to make sure that these characters come to life in a real way, more than just one-dimensional, multi-dimensional. I missed the show yesterday. I'll keep a lookout today. Well, you better, Pixie Cloud.
Well, good thing they missed the earlier part of this conversation because we revealed pretty much everything.
Yeah, we really did.
No, Taza has incredible accessories. Do you borrow any of his accessories?
Here's a good question from my friend Lisa. Who would I like to see join the cast in the future? I would like to see more skins from the Res join Taza. Some relatives from the Res somewhere. That's what I'd like to see.
That would be cool.
Yeah. So tell us about the new colors on your bike this season. Hey, so you liked it, right? It's good. That took a lot because I thought, again, this year was the perfect year because Taza was going to venture out on his own and we were going to spend more time with him. I really wasn't comfortable with the bike before. It just didn't feel like Taza. So I worked a lot with the art department to make sure that we painted it, and they hand tooled all the leather with images that I gave them and all that. But because I'm a horseman, right? I actually ride horses and have horses, and I have a motorcycle. But I've always referred to my motorcycle as my metal war horse. So I wanted my motorcycle to be more reflecting of who Taza is, as an indigenous man, and just not have the East LA or kind of like sort of cholo look. Mm-hmm. I wanted his bike to be a little bit different than that, and they did a good job on the bike. To
represent kind of more of his identity.
Yeah, more of his identity of the indigenous, mm-hmm. behind him as well, as opposed to the Mexican part. Yeah.
Let's see. Anybody else got any more questions before we cut him off the hot seat?
I saw you on the Valley, and you gave the head, and now you're such a. We try to be as nice as we. Taza has the best jewelry and hair. Although I had to tell somebody today, they were hating on me. Somebody actually wrote on a picture. It was one of the ones that's saying, you know, from yesterday about tune in tonight, and it was one of the shots that they gave me from the show from a scene, and actually a girl wrote 3 times on it. She says, he looks too girly, and then she says the hair's got to go. And then the third time she said, I don't know, I couldn't understand all the the lettering, like let me know LMK. I mean, I'm so new to that shit. So I don't know what it meant, but it was just whatever it was. She was hating on me and hating on my hair and thought I was too girly. So I was like, oh, okay, well, all right.
There's plenty of us who love the hair.
Well,
I love the hair.
Yeah, I mean, I love the hair too. So wish I had
that's
more
all
of
that
it. Though. It's starting to get thin.
Oh, please. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us today. Is there anything that you could tease from next week's episode before we go? Little tease.
Oh, okay. I think you're gonna look forward to what you started hinting about earlier in a war brewing. It's something really heavy gonna be starting to go down. You got a taste of it right at the very end when Tucson chapter got back to their place and Concha was waiting for him. So there is more of that to come. So stand by and hold your breath.
Listen, grip tight to Taza. We're not ready to say goodbye to him. Okay, Raul?
Hey, I'm good. I hope so. I want to stick around for a little bit more. I think there's more to be told for sure. But what a pleasure talking to you, Rosy.
You too. Thank you so much for your time. And I mean, the last time I was in New Mexico, I had to be outside for the sunsets. The sunsets are the most beautiful, breathtaking sunsets I have seen in my life. I
know. Well, that's
I don't want to keep you from that.
No, that's okay. That's I met my niece. I gotta drive home still, but that's why when you look on my Instagram, you'll either see Mayan stuff or it's my ranch and there's tons of sunsets and my animals because I love my animals. So my alpacas and my horses. That's my life.
You have alpacas? I'm half Peruvian. Those are my cousins.
Oh, really? Yeah, I raise alpacas and I have horses and peacocks. I have a whole bloody ranch with all these animals.
That's so cool.
So yeah, most of you all follow me anyway, but I share all that stuff just so you can see what paradise looks like, Aw.
Well, I want to remind everybody that every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. on FX are new episodes of Mayans MC, at least the second half. We're already halfway through the freaking season.
And it's hard to believe.
Pardon?
It's hard to believe that we're halfway through.
I know. And then the episodes 24 hours later appear on FX on Hulu. Next week, I'll be joined by Sulem Calderon so that we can dish about Gabby right here. And all of my exclusive interviews with the cast are at EW.com. Thank you, Raoul.
Thank you, Rosy, for doing this. This is a great way to get everybody up close and personal with us. And I think it's a really good thing that you're doing here.
Well,
so thank you.
I'm just a big fan of the show, to be honest. I call myself just like a professional fangirl.
Well, maybe we need to get you in one of those bar scenes, hey?
Listen, I would die.
Dress you up as a little sucia.
Listen, I'm from Miami, and the other half is Cuban. I can play a sucia.
Hey, you know what? If you can get on the show in the bar scene one of those days, I will dance with you on that set. We will make sure they get music on. It's a party scene. It's a celebration scene, and I will dance with you.
Oh my God! I'm gonna tell Elgin. The last time said he wants me in the writers' room, but I like your idea better.
Let's dress you up as a sucia and get a little dance in. How about that?
I love it. Thank you.
All right, Rosy.
Bye, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, everybody. Love you all.